Frak, this podcast, come and listen to us talk about Battlestar Galactica. It's a show that we're talking about. Hello, interwebs, and welcome to the Frak, this podcast. I am your medallioned host, Jesse Gender, and I'm joined as always by Vera. I love that you're like, what do you mean? Look, is now caught on camera.
I even know where you got that from, but I'm also like pretty sure that's not a word, but sure, whatever.
Medallion, yeah, it's definitely a word. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, don't look it up in the dictionary. Words are all made up, Vera. All right. We just need to make it a thing. Everyone in the comments, make it a thing. Start using medallioned in a sentence all over this comment section.
Good luck with that. So how you doing?
Rough week for me for personal reasons that you know, Vera, but I won't get into on the podcast. But beyond that, I'm doing all right. I'm currently in that like anxiety mode where I'm trying to figure out gifts for family members.
I've got most of those done, but now I need to try and figure out like, did I cover everything? And like the thing that I always have to remember is my kiddo has neither the income nor the insight to do much of their gift giving for other people. So I have to remember to get gifts for other people from them.
Yeah. No, I've done that for my sister sometimes when I was younger.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, did you get a gift for mom and dad? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's that going on, and just the frickin' Warner Brothers thing is.
Yeah.
Okay, can I vent for a hot second, real quick?
Vent because I'll probably vent along with you, so go for it.
Well, I'm going to start from a position that you might not be with me at, but holy shit, was I annoyed!
I disagree.
Before we get into the latest shit, but like over the weekend, wow, was I annoyed at everyone going like, "Oh no, this is terrible! This is the death of theaters! This is the
Nope, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on this.
The stripping out of any and all context that would enable anyone to arrive at that position. If that was your position at the initial announcement that Netflix was buying Warner Brothers, you either did not have enough information to be moaning as much as you did, or you were being deliberately disingenuous. Because, as we are now seeing with the, at time of recording, announcement of an attempt of a goddamn hostile takeover by Skydance, the alternative was way worse. Like, yes. I start from a baseline of nobody should be allowed to buy Warner Brothers. But that ship sailed ages ago. As soon as it was clear that they were for sale, I came to terms with that. Shouldn't happen. Nobody should own it. But as far as the options go, Netflix was not the worst choice. They weren't even close.
That was okay. Yes. No, I agree with you on this because like the WGA released a statement and all of these other people. And I was just like, I on a certain level, I agree with you. Like, yes, like this is shitty. It's like Netflix buying this is going to be bad for theaters. I completely understand. But Paramount is by far 1,000 times worse, and everyone fucking knew. Everyone fucking knew that these were the options. And again, I agree with you. Like Warner Brothers getting bought is a bad thing, just generally speaking. It will lead, no matter what, it will lead to bad things at the very least, even if not Netflix or Paramount bought it. I forget the other, there was Comcast. Someone else was, Comcast.
Who never really seemed to be seriously in the running.
No, but for like some weird thing happens and like they suddenly got it, like even that would probably have been the best option generally for the industry, but still would have led to a lot of layoffs. So like, I don't want it to happen at all. It's a bad thing, just generally speaking. But if you have to put a gun to my head between Netflix and Paramount, give it to fucking Netflix any fucking day.
I wouldn't even hesitate.
All of the bullshit. Yeah, no, neither would I. Between all of the bullshit between fucking Paramount, like with Paramount, like Jesus fucking Christ, you want a fucking right-wing fucking David Ellison, like Trump, like, and like especially the shit where he like goes and whines to Daddy Trump. It's like Trump. Please fix this. I didn't get my way.
Lest we forget, Okay, the Ellisons who own Skydance, which bought Paramount, which shouldn't have been allowed to happen either,
Mm-hmm.
right-wing jackasses have already completely screwed up CBS News, completely killed it for all intents and purposes.
Put in Barry
Warner Brothers
Weiss.
owns CNN.
Yep. Yep,
So,
and
like,
they installed Barry Weiss. They also like some other things I was reading. They fired a bunch of people, and mostly people of color and women. So
of
there's
course.
that. The
Yeah,
other
yeah,
news report that happened just a week or two ago was that like the Paramount has basically had like killed all morale at former or sorry, Skydance has killed all former morale at Paramount because they basically are only they're killing any small projects. It's like only big tentpole movies from now on.
of
AK
course.
will also probably mean, given their lean, movies that are only catering to boomer cis white dudes of all the fucking
Yeah,
time.
like,
Or if they do it for women, it'll be like a Barbie movie thing. Like this is the women thing. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's that level of fucking bullshit. They're clear like I, I will, if they're gonna be play this weird accurate thing. I mean, they're billionaires, they're right wing and conservative in all of those senses. David Ellison has this like liberal moderate kind of fucking stance around bullshit, which obviously is its own centrist bullshit nonsense that I've railed about before. Larry Ellison is also like gaining like tech shit from Trump. Like I think they just made a deal to like run like AI data centers like through Trump that like $10 billion is like called Project Stargate or whatever the fuck it is. So it's
of
like
course it
it's just
is.
all pieces of shit all the way down.
Yeah. And it like when the WGA made a statement, is like, look, in a vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Netflix buying it was bad, but we don't live in a goddamn vacuum. I actually commented on somebody's thing about this. You remember that bit in Monsters Inc. where Mr. Waternoose is like, "I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die." I
Mm-hmm.
did a GIF of Mr. Waternoose and I wrote, "I would kill 1,000 cinemas before I let the Ellisons get another media empire."
Yep. My favorite meme was the one from Star Wars the Rise of Skywalker of all things, where it was what's his face minion guy, the First Order. I forget his name from
Oh, Hux?
Hux. Yes, it's Hux, and it's the meme from Hux. It's like I don't want Netflix to win, I just want Paramount to lose, and I'm like yes.
Yes, correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we'll see what happens. The thing is, by the time that audiences hear this, this may have shaken out further down the line. But like at time of speaking, the hostile takeover attempt was announced today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hostile takeovers actually fail more often than they succeed, and they fail for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, the only knock is I think Larry Ellison, who's probably helping with David Ellison in this bullshit, has been known for like I think some of the most successful hostile takeovers over the years. I forget which ones his was. Someone was talking about it on the show I listened to. Um,
I think their big hurdle in this is because like I don't know. Okay, I would need to check this, but if the Warner Brothers shares, if the existing Warner Brothers shares were going to be converted to Netflix shares,
mhm. That
then
might be
I
worth it, yeah, for
that's
people.
probably worth more than the buyout price, or at least I think probably more than a majority of stockholders would want to hold that versus selling it at the price that Skydance is offering.
Yeah. Just a note here, Larry Ellison. So I'd have never heard of these, but these are talking like Larry Ellison has done four hostile takeovers, all successful. In 2003, he did a $10 billion takeover of something called PeopleSoft. There's another one, Cybel Systems, in 2006 for another $5 or $6 billion. It looks like BEA Systems for $9 billion in 2008, and then 2010, $7.4 billion. So he has a history of doing
He
hostile
does,
takeovers.
but like these are all probably
Tech,
mid-sized tech companies.
yes, yes.
I I think this is a different playing field. Now, like it might still work, but hostile takeovers are risky business. They are expensive, even if they are successful.
Mhm.
We'll see.
I think the big wild card in it is Trump, which is
I'm not sure that's
whatever.
as much of a wild card as people are playing. Like, look, Trump's involvement means that the regulatory side is less likely to favor the approved buyer, which is Netflix.
Mhm.
But also, Trump has no loyalty.
Oh yeah, no, he goes wherever the wind blows him that day. Whoever
I mean,
sent smoke up his ass that later
he
day.
literally
Yeah.
said he thought the Netflix buyout was a great thing like 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's whoever
he
blows smoke up his ass most recently. Yes.
yeah. So I don't think he like people are like, oh, he's gonna tip the scale in favor of Paramount. I like maybe, but also the regulatory hurdle is not the only thing Paramount has to overcome to win this. Like their big hurdle is getting holds of enough shares to have a majority. And it's possible. I'm not sure they're gonna manage that. At
It's
least
possible.
I'm not confident enough that I am giving up hope.
Yeah. Well, someone will just fucking shake Star Trek free from them. That's all I have.
Yeah, I am sorry for you for that being your main fandom. That is cooked. That is
Yeah.
fucked.
Well, I will, like I said, my one weird hope is that the current people apparently writing the new Star Trek movie, the people who did the D&D movie, Honor Among
Yeah.
Thieves. So I'm like, that's okay. I can get behind that, I guess. I
Good
mean,
luck.
that was like I said. The director of Honor Among Thieves liked my post when like I said I saw Honor Among Thieves. I loved it. I especially loved the part where they ate the rich, where they killed all the rich people. I sent out that post and he liked it. One of the two directors, I forget which one, liked it. So that I at least appreciate.
uh
So,
well, we could continue the corporate news
mm,
podcast, but maybe we should shift over to
I
something
was I
else.
was to say, are you gonna do my
Nope.
thing? Anyway,
No, I'm not. I'm gonna
oh.
nudge you. You do it. It's your thing.
Well, I'm a little torn on that. Speaking of which, we're going to be talking about the episode Torn's comment section. So let us jump into it. Uh, so Romler says, unlikely as it might seem, there actually is a purpose to the nude Sharon scene beyond just a nude Sharon, though that's definitely a big part of it. You bring up the scene from season one finale where Boomer sees a bunch of other eights, and the intention at the time was that Cylons don't wear clothes at all when they're just amongst each other. But then this season featured an extended storyline on a base star, which the crew quickly realized would force every scene to constantly be hiding the nudity, which would quickly get to an Austin Powers level and make the whole thing seem impossible to take seriously. So the Tai Chi scene was designed to establish that this is just a weird thing about the eights specifically.
I don't care.
I don't. Yeah, I don't do.
Like
I get it. I get why they did that. Yeah.
I get it. I will not be accepting that excuse. Uh, you still failed the assignment. See me after class.
uh, SL Prawn 65 said the sci-fi reboot continuation chat reminded me that the Quantum Leap 2020 return was doing well. That NBC decided to extend the first season to 18 episodes, but then halfway through season two decided to air it at 10 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. and then tanked the ratings, and NBC ended up canceling the show. Yep, that's sadly one of those things where they like move it and they're like, why isn't it doing well at this other time? And then cancel it from there. Which sucks because that I will say the recent Quantum Leap show was like not top tier sci-fi, but it was that perfect like this is really good 18 episode of like a year television. Like I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, very non-binary and queer centric. They did a whole episode literally just defending trans women in sports. Like it was literally a whole episode that's like, yeah, trans women in sports deserve to be able to play sports. Fuck y'all. And I'm like, respect, absolute respect for doing that on TV. So like I really really liked that show quite a lot, and I was sad to see it go. Again, it wasn't like 10 out of 10 television, but it was really really fun for what it was. So sucks.
The moving of shows is always an awkward. It's one of those things that I get slightly less ticked about than I used to because when I was younger and knew nothing and did not really understand the industry, it's like, why would you do this to hurt the shows? Like there are actual reasons, like the most common one being like, okay, we've got this thing on solid footing.
Mm,
Can we move it to a time slot that isn't doing as well? And will the audience follow it? Can we it can be a calculated risk on the for the show, maybe to improve the standing of a time slot that is otherwise flagging, or maybe if they've got a new thing to launch and it's a real prime slot that the older show was in. It's like, we need to give this other thing a launching pad. So we need to, like, there are actual reasons. It still sucks.
It really does. It really does. Um, Doc,
and it is, and on occasion, I doubt the case here, but on occasion, they also do move stuff to on purpose to kill it.
oh yeah, that is also very true. They did that to Star Trek in its final season, the original series way back in the day. Um, let's see. Doc Widner says, I've been really enjoying It Welcome to Derry. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. Shockingly, shockingly, It Welcome to Derry. I had zero expectations, and that may be to why I get this opinion. It is actually really good. This week's episode, which is the penultimate episode of the season without spoiling, I thought was actually phenomenal. And I am shocked. I thought this was just going to be a blah, whatever the fuck show that I didn't give two shits about. I am legitimately shocked by how good it is. Better than both of the movies by like a hot mile. Like clear in a way. So I doubt you'll give it the time of day, Vera, because you've got too many other things going on.
I also just barely got rid of HBO Max. So.
Fair. But I will say to listeners, like, if you enjoy that sort of Stephen King vibe, even if you weren't a big fan of the It movies, I will say the show is actually very solid. And again, this penultimate episode, there's a few quibbles I have with it, but the penultimate episode was really, really good. Like, some fantastic stuff. Especially what they do. This is not a spoiler. It's in the very first episode. They bring in Dick Hallorann from The Shining and whatchamacallit,
Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep.
I haven't even seen it, and I know what it's called. Jeez.
Yeah. Doctor Sleep is also really great, but they bring in Dick Hallorann, and Dick Hallorann in it is really good. Like, the actor plays Dick in this is like, I'm like shocked by how well he can play weird psychic shit going on a lot, and it's really good. So yeah, no, I highly recommend it. Anyways, the other part of this comment was why I read it. Vera needs to start a new channel called Vera Reads Tech Bro Manifestos. I enjoyed Jesse's Billionaires Loving Star Trek video, but Vera stole the show with those reads. And I cut some out.
You almost broke me with the shit. Okay.
Vera, those were like the tame ones too. You read his whole fucking manifesto? Jesus Christ, it gets worse.
So, folks, if you don't watch Jesse's videos, like, if there's quotes to be read from an article, a book, an interview, or whatever, and there is an actual video of the original person, she will frequently have other YouTubers, friends of hers, read these. And she seems to go out of her way at this point to reserve the most "what the fuck did you just say" lines for me to read specifically. And this last one, she had me read, like, and I'm glad you kept this in. There was literally one, I stopped one sentence in and said, I cannot fucking do this.
We believe any deceleration of AI will cost lives. Fuck, God, I can't do this. God damn it. We believe any deceleration of AI will cost lives. Deaths that were preventable by the AI that was prevented from existing is a form of murder. Oh, God, I feel so fucking gross reading that.
Oh my God.
And Vera, and I pulled it up here because I'm going to read some choice lines. I forgot this part. So the parts that I used in my video were only the ones that were pertinent to my argument, as should be. But like, they were the tame ones. Like, here we go. I'm just gonna read a slight selection, then we'll actually get into our Battlestar Galactica part. We need to like just spin off our own bullshit podcast at some point, at a certain point. But anyways, we believe in ambition, aggression, persistence, restlessness, strength. We believe in merit and achievement. We believe in bravery, in courage. We believe in pride, confidence, and self-respect when earned. We believe in free thought, free speech, and free inquiry. We believe in the actual scientific method and enlightenment values of free discourse and challenging the authority of experts. We believe, as Richard Feynman said, science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. And I would rather have questions that can't be be answered than answers that can't be questioned. Questioned. We believe in local knowledge, the people with actual information making decisions, not in playing God. We believe in embracing variance and increasing interestingness. We believe in risk, in leaps into the unknown. We believe in agency, in individualism. We believe in radical competence. This is my favorite one. We believe in absolute rejection of resentment. As Carrie Fisher said, resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And that's, wait. We believe, and this is jumping ahead. We believe in extrinsic motivations. Wealth, fame, revenge are fine as far as they go. We believe in intrinsic motivations, the satisfaction of building something new. We believe in technology. We believe technology is universalist. Like it just goes on and
You could
on and
literally
on.
just port that to a megalomaniacal villain in the next sci-fi movie that someone throws together.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. He like this manifesto, this tech optimist manifesto goes fucking on and on, and it's just
That's not tech optimism. That's a fucking tech death cult.
No, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's the argument that I made, but like it just like give it if you want to like have an aneurysm, give it a
No, I
read.
don't.
Yeah, Mark Anderson. I think Anderson or Anderson. I forget how you say his name. I don't fucking care. I'll dead name that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, he is definitely not my hero. And speaking of which, let us get into our recap of the Battlestar Galactica episode Hero. And every time I hear this, by the way, I just think, and they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. That, if anyone watched the original Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie and had that soundtrack.
Yeah, you sounded like Kermit the Frog trying to sing Nickelback. You get a click for that alone.
That's too funny. Oh, I might die from that. That's really good. Anyways, getting into our recap, we start off the episode with the previously on. I just want to note that in the previously on for this episode, they start off with a card in the beginning.
I noted that, yeah.
Yeah,
and like the previously on goes way back.
all the way to the miniseries, mainly just to emphasize when Adama said the line, "You cannot hide from the things you've done," because that will come back around in this episode.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But then we get into the actual episode, and I know what I meant, but my very first note is man eyes, because it's just the shot. We'll learn his name is Bulldog, but we just get the shot of this guy's eyes as the first shot of the episode. So I just wrote man eyes.
That's some man eyes, I tell you.
They definitely are. We then cut over to Colonial One, where Roslyn is still clearing out some of Baltar's shit from the office, and there's this big, like, self-portrait of Baltar that we saw in previous episodes. And,
is it a self-portrait? Do we know if he painted it?
Yeah, sorry, not a self-portrait, but it's a portrait, like an oil painting portrait of Baltar is what I meant. Tori's asking what should we do with it, and she says, "Oh, put it above the toilet," essentially. Which I thought was fun. But then Rosalind finds this dossier that Billy had prepared for her when she first became president way back in season or the miniseries.
Yeah, a random mention of Billy. I almost forgot he existed.
It's okay. The show almost did too. But yes, she looks through the dossier and finds out that Adama's previous command was the Battlestar Valkyrie before the Galactica. And that also, this is the 45th anniversary of his time in the fleet. In fact, his commissioning day is coming up very soon. And so she says, we should give the Admiral a medal. Gives the people something to feel good about. So, yeah. Then we cut into Adama on the CIC, and we have 3 Cylon raiders coming in, but they quickly learn that 2 raiders are chasing a third one that is sort of running away from them. And we cut to Starbuck and Cap going out, and they quickly take out the 2 other Cylon raiders, but not the third. And we then start getting a message as they try to take it out. That's saying Bulldog, this is Bulldog, I forget what his like thing, but he's saying this is Bulldog essentially. To which Adama recognizes, says, "Bring the raider in." So.
Yep. So bring it in, prisoner protocol.
Yes. We jump down to the hangar deck and we sort of have the raider coming in. And out of the raider, kind of like Starbuck did way back in season one, we have the character that we will come to know as Bulldog falls out of it, covered in Cylon goop. And he is played by Carl Lumbly. Yeah, who is
Yes.
great. Best known recently as having played Isaiah Bradley in the recent Captain America and also Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
Yes.
Yes, that's probably
But
where he's
like,
most known for recently.
guy's been around for
Yes,
ages.
yes.
If you're into 80s cheese cinema, he is in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even connect that. Yeah. No, he's just one of those actors that you've just been around in a billion different things. So,
Yeah, no, yeah. It it took me a minute to recognize him because he looks significantly younger than he is in
mm,
this.
I
Because
was
like
saying too, I was like, yeah, he looks really young. Like, am I that old? Like, has there been that much time? You know?
no, he just didn't start like aging noticeably until later. He's only 4 years younger than Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
So
Which
yeah,
you would not fucking know from watching this.
he was in his 50s playing this part.
Yeah, and I would have like if I had to like clock him, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's probably in his 30s, maybe early 40s, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I would have called too.
yeah,
No, he was like 54, 55.
yeah. Wow, that is honestly fucking wild. Yeah, dude, look good. I mean, he still look good.
No,
He
it's
look great in Captain America. Yeah.
still a good looking guy, but yeah, dang.
But anyways, Bulldog gives Adama a salute. And he says, "Is that really you, sir?" And says, "It is. Welcome home, Bulldog." So,
Yep.
so
I
Adama
actually
knows him.
what I really like about that is Bulldog, stands up and does a salute, and like the whole hangar is dead silent. And he's just standing there, and Adama gives him the salute back so that he can come out of it before
Yep.
they start talking. I appreciate the pause. It was well done.
We then cut back to after the opening credits to a flashback scene where Adama is sort of meeting the Admiralty back on presumably Caprica, but certainly before the Cylon attack, so pre-miniseries. And they're giving him a secret mission, say no one can know about it. And he says, "I have one condition. I need to bring my men, and there's only one pilot I trust." So,
Yep.
yep. Presumably meaning Bulldog, as we'll later see. But then we cut back to the present, and Coddle is checking on Bulldog, and he basically presumes he's not. He says he's not a Cylon. We compared his DNA to his military records, which
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that would work,
Well,
presumably.
like the thing is, we don't know one way because, like, I guess that works as like the best kind of test that they have because at present, so far as they are aware, there has not been a Cylon that has mimicked an existing person. Like this is one of my early questions when we
Mm-hmm.
first started this show. Are these original creations or are they built off actual human templates?
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no indication of the latter
Yes.
at so far. So yeah, it makes sense that if this was a Cylon, there would be some variance somewhere
Mm-hmm.
versus the DNA on record. So I think this makes sense as a
Yeah.
test. It
Yeah.
doesn't work as a mass testing because how many people are you going to have their DNA on file?
Yes.
He was decorated military, running stealth missions. Yes, they had it.
Yes. So they have that, but then yeah, Dama, has a call into Roslyn, and he's like, yes, he was captured 3 years ago. He's one of mine. So he's like, this Bulldog was captured by the Cylons before the events of the miniseries. So we know.
Yep.
And then Coddle tells him, he checks out fine. They kept him fed and relatively healthy, at least physically. So, yep. And then Dama goes up and talks to Bulldog. Or sorry, this is a different scene. They're Dama and Bulldog are having like a dinner together.
I actually really like the detail where Coddle's like, once he gives him a clean bill of health, he's like, "You want to smoke?"
Yeah. Again, Coddle's great. He's always fantastic.
I like him. I like him a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Um, and so we have Bulldog and Dama, and I should mention Bulldog's other name. His actual name is Danny, but I'll be using Bulldog for most of this. Um, and Bulldog is eating his like food really quickly, as if he hasn't eaten much in a long while, which you clearly
Or at
haven't.
least nothing he cared for the taste of.
Yes, exactly. And Adama asks him like, "Hey, how the hell did you get off the Cylon base ship?" And then Bulldog gives him kind of a jokey response at first. They locked locked me in a cell for 3 years. Service was slow, and I felt the institution had no longer anything to offer me, so I left. Which Adama's like, "You had me worried. I thought the Cylons would have beat the bullshit attitude out of you." So yeah,
Yeah.
so it shows like they had a good camaraderie
Yeah.
between the
Good,
two of
good,
them.
good rapport, which also makes sense because like it's the dynamic and sense you get between these two is not dissimilar from Adama's dynamic with Starbuck.
Yes, yes, very much so towards the beginning. Um, and yeah, and so then he asks again, he's like, Bulldog basically tells him, like, I thought I was gonna die out there, but then the Cylons started to get really, really sick. There was a virus. And I started to realize I wasn't getting sick. So I realized I'm immune and I was smart and patient and I waited. And then we get a flashback where we have one of the Deannas who's clearly very sick, dying from the virus. Um, and she's like sort of rattling his cage with like a stick of some kind, something that metal that's like ringing it and making noise. And Bulldog is doing push-ups. And she's like, "Oh, you're trying to stave off getting old? Doesn't seem such a tragedy to me, given the alternative, like she's dying."
Yeah.
But then when she gets close, Bulldog goes up to her and basically hits her, knocks her out, and is able to escape from there. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. We then cut to Roslyn meeting with Bulldog and Adama, and I believe Tori are there. So basically, Adama sort of says, it was a year prior to the colony's attack. It was on a mission for me. It was a Black Ops mission. Oh, this is a call. This is a call, I should say. This wasn't them meeting yet, but he basically says like this was there was a Black Ops mission that the Tauron colonies were sort of doing trillium ore mining near the Cylon Armistice line, and so we had to get them out of there, risk provoking the Cylons. And he was a recon pilot, and he was supposed to gather evidence, and the Taurons ambushed him in cold blood. So that's Adama's initial story.
That's the cover story, sure.
Mm-hmm. We get a flashback to the Battlestar Valkyrie here, and we see like a thing about Bird is down. Request rescue. So Bulldog's like requesting rescue. Back in the present though, and sorry, I was incorrect because I had this weird. This is the meeting with Rosalind Bulldog.
Yes, I was gonna say I didn't want to bring it up because like you're clearly already confused and I don't need to.
No, I'll get there. I got there. I just wasn't sure. Anyways, because I had like put a note that the flashback happened here, and then we cut back, and I was like, oh, I thought the scene ended with the thing with Adama tipping over his chair, and I got it here. Anyways, so we're back in that scene, and Adama says, I made a bad call. His ship was gone. We didn't detect any ejection. We didn't see any distress call. He was dead, so I left. But he did survive, and the Cylons found him. So I made a bad call. And Rosin says, okay, that sounds good. Can you give us a moment alone? And Tori says, hey, we'll go and see if any of your family survived. And so Rosin, when they're alone, she says, you're going to tell me what really happened? And Adama says, trust me on this. It's my mess. I'll fix it. And so she says, all right. She seems a little bit like, okay. When she leaves, Adama frustrated tips over his chair.
Yep.
So clearly something's going on. Adama's having big boy emotions.
Big man feels.
He's having man pain. Anyways, we then have oh god, I forgot. We'll get there in a second. We have a scene with Deanna. She is on the Galactica somehow, and she's trying to avoid guards, but she eventually gets seen, and they go to shoot her. She says fire, but then she's in a weird ethereal light, and she wakes up, and she's sleeping with Baltar and Head 6. And I just wrote, ugh. And Vera's drinking right out of the bottle. For listeners who do not have the video. For listeners, if you don't see the video version, Vera just wrote "for fuck's sake" in big caps in her notebook.
That is across 5 columns. That's how big those letters were.
Yeah, I wish I could show you on my screen, but my screen has 5 lines of the word "ugh." Go off.
What the fuck, Ron? What the fuck is your problem? What is fucking wrong with you, man? What is your goddamn hang up that you cannot have a single woman in this fucking show who does not get sexualized by other characters, if not the fucking camera or both? Why? Why are you doing this? Go to therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God, that pissed me off so much.
Yeah. And we'll leave it there. Yeah, I don't have anything more to add to that than just fuck off. It's stupid as shit, and I had wiped that from my fucking brain.
And you were right to do so. I'm trying to do the same.
Anyways, back on the Galactica after that fucking shit. We have Ty lying in his bed with a cigarette sort of like in his fingers, and he's sort of like running it over his face, going like, I see it. So like when his because now he only has one eye, when he can see his cigarette, he says, I see it. So he's like clearly in this like zoned out, like,
he's like testing the limits of his peripheral vision.
Yeah, he's clearly in a not great mental state.
No, not so much.
No, but Adama comes in and tells him that Bulldog is alive, and Ty sort of says, "Are you here to talk to a friend or an XO? Because last I checked, I was neither." Which is oof, oof. Um, but then Ty says, "Oh, I realize this is going to be a little complicated for you. You going to tell him what you did?" And Adama starts saying stuff like, you know, the past is the past, and Ty's like, "You're equivocating. He's going to find out sooner or later. You should tell him." So, yep.
Yep. There's something going on.
Mm-hmm. Cut to the next scene, and I will say it's a little awkward considering these two scenes are right next to each other. I wish we had gotten something in between these two scenes, but it is Ty. In a little while later, like holding Helen's dress, looking at her clothing, clearly in a reminiscing stage and feeling guilt for Helen's death and feeling terrible about it. You get little flashbacks of it, but he hears a knock at the door. Initially says go away, but it opens up and it's Bulldog. And Bulldog gives him a hug and Ty invites him in. So clearly they're also friendly.
I have to wonder if the ad break had gone.
I'm sure it must have, because there needed to. It's just weird to have like this scene right next to the like you should tell him, and then there's like not, because we'll find out in the scene with Ty that like he's like kind of being like, oh, he didn't tell you, and I'm like, it's weird to have that right next to the scene previous.
Yeah. So my hunch is that it might have had an ad break there, or failing that, it does actually put some potential interpretation on Ty
as being
telling him, like knowing full well that not enough time has passed since he talked to Adama for him to have told him, but he's going to play it up and make it a thing.
Yeah, it makes him a little shit stirrer if you read it that way, which works considering
like he has been a bit these last couple episodes.
Yeah, no, it works. It works. Anyways, this is intercut with another scene between Adama and Lee, but I'll finish off the Ty and Bulldog scene. Yes. So we have Ty and Bulldog talking to each other, and he's like, "Oh, did he tell you how did he end up on the Galactica?" Ty says. Or Bulldog asked him, excuse me. And Ty's like, well, that last mission that he did on the Valkyrie with you wasn't exactly a boon to his career. The Galactica was considered his graceful retirement. But he still does his share of ass covering. It's his main function now. You got captured in the first place. You learn this the hard way. And then this is where Ty realized, like, oh, he didn't tell you, did he? That son of a bitch. So, and this is where Bulldog realizes something went on. And again, you could read it either like Ty is like actually upset that Adama didn't tell him given time has passed, or if you read that no time has passed, Ty's a shit stir. So
I mean, I am gonna push back on the potential interpretation that he's upset that Adama didn't tell him, because like his delivery on that son of a bitch is at most disappointment, not anger and not upsetness.
Sorry, maybe I misspoke. Yes, it wasn't like, oh, he's so pissed off, but yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, well, he should have told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we then simultaneously to this scene, we have a scene between Adama and Apollo. Um, and basically he calls Apollo in to do some exposition. Uh, and
Come in, son.
I need
I
to
need someone to
exposit to you.
exposit to. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes, it's essentially what it is. But Adama admits to Lee that he was the one that shot him down. And Lee goes, you shot him down for reasons. You were following orders or something. And Adama's like, no, I shot him down to avoid detection, to protect the mission so it wouldn't be discovered by the Cylons. This was actually a Black Ops mission whose sole purpose was to ascertain the likelihood of a Cylon strike. Um, and Lee's like, wait, we knew that they were out there, that they could launch an attack on the colonies. And Don was like, we didn't know anything for sure. There were theories, though, that the Cylons had stayed dormant because they were building a war machine. Um, which I guess they were correct about. Uh,
Yep.
Lee Lee says, like, I thought no one had seen the silence for 40 years. And Adam was like, that's mostly true, but the Admiralty believed we're growing restless with President Adar's administration and thinking that we were resting on our laurels. So this is just a recon mission to just go across the armistice line and, see what we could see. But if they found out that we crossed the line, the silence did, then they would see that as an act of war. We then do a flashback sequence where we kind of see this play out, where Bulldog goes a little bit past the line and he's like, nothing's here, sir. But then, and I should note too, I like Bulldog. He has a gold flight uniform, which is, I think, a callback to the uniforms that they would wear in the original show, to have like the gold outfit. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, they do get Dratus contacts. And Dom is the one that chooses to shoot down Bulldog. Ty is there,
Well,
and it's worth noting. Yeah,
it's worth noting. Bulldog's ship was damaged first because you kind of skipped over that.
Yes.
And skipping over that implies that Adama saw there were.
Yeah, it's like, fuck him, shoot him. Yeah.
Thought there were Silas coming, like, just shoot him down. Like, no, the concern was he wasn't going to get back. We can't retrieve him fast enough. We have to shoot him down because otherwise the Cylons will realize we were spying on them. Yeah.
Yes. Ty argues against this. Is like, you don't want to do this. And Adama argues like, do you want a ship discovered? Do you have any idea what that could mean? So he's the one that shoots the missile to destroy Bulldog's ship, but Bulldog does eject. So, and that's really how he gets rescued.
The two halves of this, the side with Bulldog and Ty, way better than the side with Adama and Lee. I don't want to pick on Lee. He's a little bit of a drag on this scene because, like, the actor, bless him, is trying to make a thing out of it. Like, dude, your only role in this is to be the recipient of the exposition. It would have been better if you just did that instead of trying to play the emotions, because nobody cares about your emotions in this scene.
Yeah. Because Bulldog learns this as well, and Ty's like, you know it to be true. Search your feelings. That sort of. And as soon as you accept it, you can get that haunted look out of your eyes, which is a line that I did like. It's like, you must have always known it. And Ty also says, sometimes surviving can be its own death sentence. I know that. He says that to Bulldog. But then back with Lee and Adama, we have Adama getting some man pain moments. And because Adama says to Lee's like, all those years I told myself I didn't know what they were, those blips on the screen, but I was lying to myself. It is true. I started it. I initiated it. So Adama blames himself for the attack on the colonies. He's like, I showed them that we were the warmongers they figured us to be, and I left them but one choice, to attack us before we attacked them.
Which I immediately wrote down, that cannot be the only reason why all this happened. Which is a point that will be addressed later on.
Yes.
But I wrote that down immediately. And I guess I do still have some expectations of this show. I didn't think the show was actually going to make the case that was what caused it all. I did actually have some faith that the show wasn't going to leave it at that.
Yes, and thankfully it does not. And so that's why I end up really liking this scene, because it is like Adama trying to be like, oh, the weight of the world is on my shoulders sort of shit. Like, he blames himself for all of it.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is that, but I think it's also just when you've done something that you can't unburden yourself from.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whether it's because you are not able to apologize to the people you hurt, or you are not able to share what you're going through with other people for whatever reason, it increases the size and scope of it within your head because
Oh
it's not
yeah.
allowed to exist anywhere else.
I mean, this is clearly an outgrowth of his guilt at having gotten Bulldog killed, having killed what he
Oh
thought
yeah.
was killing Bulldog. But yeah, and it's extrapolated out into like I blame myself for not only this but the whole war and everything. It's all my fault. Literally, the entire genocide of human beings are all my fault. This is what we call catastrophizing, Adama.
It is, but what I like about this is he's not making a martyr of himself out of it.
No, no, yes.
Which is nice, because usually when this kind of catastrophizing is depicted, it becomes either part of a complete mental breakdown, or of like a serious martyr complex, or
Mm.
and this is neither of those things. This is actually, I think, one of the more restrained versions I've seen of this kind of beat for a character, and I think it's played really well.
No, I really, really liked it. And the moment that I really like the most here is, you're saying about Lee, and he is sort of doing the like over the top, like, well, justify, like he's trying to justify it to him and playing the emotion too much. So I agree on that point. But Lee does make this point of, it wasn't just you. They put you there. It was the Admiralty. That was your mission. You were just one man. Overplays that a little bit in his part. But I do like Adama's response where he says it only takes one. So.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really strong line. So, um, back on the base star, we get to the part of this that I actually find more interesting at the very least.
Literally anything would be more interesting than her sleeping with fucking Balt.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. Beyond the absurd, needless sexualization of one of the few women that had only been mildly sexualized up to this point. Beyond that, why? Like, in universe, in character, fucking why? And I'm not saying that in a there's no acceptable answer to this, because there are. If you're going to do an actual fucking character exploration of her, which they appear to start doing, but they're doing it in a way that doesn't address any of
the
this.
Baltar shit, no.
Yeah. Like, can you justify her doing this? Yes. Did they bother? Fuck no.
Yeah, and I'm trying to no, maybe that'll be taking it too far. Something that I'll just bring it up because it's interesting to me. Um, it is worth noting that like there are three women who have not been overly sexualized. Rosalind, who's an older woman, Dee to a degree. She has been object of affection for.
She's been romanticized as
Yes.
opposed to sexualized.
Yes, and then also Tori as well, and they're both women of color, so older women and women of color, and so yeah,
not a great pattern. Not a great pattern.
And to be clear too, Sharon is also a woman of color,
audience,
but there is an Orientalism there.
Yeah, we are aware that Sharon is not white, but she's, at least as far as the nudity goes, probably the most exploited.
Yes, and also there's an element of like,
I guess between her and Six.
Yeah, well, there is also a thing too to just be said too of like the Asian women are also exoticized in ways that women of color are not. And just to be clear, women of color are also exoticized and made objects of, but in a very different way. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Anyways, just worth noting.
Go to therapy, Ron.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Again, I have issues with the ways For All Mankind has handled women in its later seasons, but it definitely doesn't sexualize women as much, which I do appreciate. So, be hard not to, but
I was gonna say, saying that the
bar is
character's
on
word as sexualized as Battlestar Galactica.
Bars in hell, but
yeah, dude.
Anyways, on the base,
I'm pretty sure the women in Sex in the City weren't as sexualized as this.
Yeah. On
And
the
I'm
base.
not even really joking.
Can I,
Sorry.
can I transition? Am I gonna start the transition and you're gonna go off again? Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm really mad.
I get it.
I'm really mad, and I
Oh
took two
god damn it,
shots.
Vera! I was just about to do it again. Can you shut up, you bitch, for 2 seconds? Am I gonna get a click?
Now you may.
Mm-hmm. Who's getting sexualized now? Anyways.
You're welcome.
Anyways, we jump over to the base star and we focus on Deanna and Caprica 6. Caprica 6 sort of asks, like, Deanna, how you doing? Are you having bad dreams? And are you having nightmares again? And she's like, no, dreams. It's something different this time. I think God is trying to tell me something. And it's not about Gaius. He's like, it's not about Gaius. It's something bigger. Thank fucking God. Literally, I guess, in this case. Um,
It's not about Gaius, it's something bigger. Oh, so like
Any
a
man?
average size pickle then?
Yeah, I know. Jesus. Anyways, but we then see Deanna is talking. It's like revealed. It's like revealed she's talking to a centurion, but she says, complete your mission. Then you're gonna erase your logs. Do not remember this at all. And after she says that, centurion shoots her in the head. And then we see as she uploads, she starts to see visions of the Opera House from way, way back in season 2.
I did catch that. I did
Mhm.
recognize it. Yeah.
But did you catch the other thing that's different about the Opera House now?
Probably not.
There are figures in hoods there now.
I missed that.
Yes. So just worth noting. Won't explain it any more than that. But it's the same Opera House, but there are now figures in hoods standing on the stage. So. Vero's making a face, everybody.
Here's the thing. That's fine. I fear for where that's going, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, within the context of this episode, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then we have her waking up in her goo pod because she's been uploaded. And she says there's something beautiful and miraculous between life and death. So
Yeah, so she is intentionally seeking out, well, she's kind of pulling a flatliners, but instead of a near-death experience, she's just having a death experience, which I would like to see this further explored. I mean, like, I already want to see further explored the impact that dying has on these people, that it happens over and over again. And if I'm being honest, we are lacking that right now. It's been discussed and hinted at. I've wanted a lot more of that. What I will say with this is she appears to be having a response that is distinctly different from what little we know about how the others react, which I like. This would hit better if we'd done more already with about what is more normal for the Cylons to feel about dying. So, like, I like what this is. They missed a trick by not laying more groundwork for, like, what is to be expected in terms of behavior from a Cylon who is, like, we have seen Cylons come back, but that was a lot more about, dealing with Boomer's journey very specifically was where we saw it the most.
We saw 6 a little bit.
And 6 a little bit. But those didn't really zoom in on, like, what is it like to die? That was more like, how is this person's arc continuing? It felt more like a step in a bigger picture rather than a zoom in on this experience.
I'll push back on that a little.
Yeah.
Just in the episode in the episode where we sort of got the backstory of Caprica 6 and Boomer on Caprica way back when in season 2, we do get to see them coming back, and it's a very traumatic moment. So they're like, I feel like we did get a little bit of like not just their arc, but a little bit of like what it's like and how disorientating it can feel to come back. However, the point that I will say that to your point is that like both of those times were very traumatic. Like for Caprica 6, it was like right after she literally died in a nuclear blast,
Yeah.
and Boomer had just like been shot in a corridor. So they were very like traumatic deaths that we were seeing, and we have never seen a, for lack of a better word, a quote unquote normal death that these people experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like those were incredibly heightened situations.
Yes.
Now, like we have some basis, and Deanna is chafing against that, which again is interesting. I just would have liked a more solid foundation for what she's meant to contrast with.
Yes. Yes. Um. But then we come back over to the Galactica. We see Starbuck is watching flight logs. And so she, of her fight with Bulldog's ship, and she's sort of wondering, it's like, why do the Cylons keep missing Bulldog's ship? So she's like
Yeah,
curious about
because
that.
his radar was like it was damaged, it was smoking, it was firing a straight line. It was like that should have been an easy shot,
Yes,
and they're missing.
as she'll point out to Ty in a little bit in a second. We have a quick cut to Bulldog doing push-ups, angry, and there's a cool flash to like him in his cage, which
Yes.
I really liked because it implies that thing that Ty had said earlier, which Ty had said like you've always known this, you just didn't like admit it to yourself. And earlier we had that moment like in the flashback, which we'll learn is a manipulated flashback to a degree, but it says something to it where Deanna says like to him like, "Why are you doing push-ups?" And there's this implication that's subtle that I like, that like the reason he was doing push-ups was to vent his anger that we will now see being played out here. So it's like it's one of those things that implies like that element of like, no, he did always kind of know this, he just wouldn't admit it to himself, sort of thing,
Hmm.
which I liked as like a visual representation of that.
Yep.
Um, but then we see Bulldog calls Adama and says, "I need to see you right now." And Adama says, "All right, I'll be on my way." But then we cut over to a scene between Starbuck and Ty, and Starbuck tells Ty the exact information that you just said. Like any nugget could have killed him. The Cylons were intentionally missing him. Um, and she also asked, like, did he say how he was able to overcome the Cylons? And he said, like, how many Cylon viruses do they have? You know what I mean? Is the thing that she
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And there's this because Starbuck kind of brings up like, how do we know that they just didn't fake something that they know we're
was
already familiar
familiar
with?
with, like a story that we would know. He escapes with no agenda and no reason to be here, and just happens on the Galactica. Is basically what she points out, and I
Yeah.
like that because it was a thing I forgot this little beat of it too in my when I was rewatching this, because there was one thing I clocked at the beginning of like, so he must have been on that base ship, but we never saw him like escape like the base ship from the past few episodes with the virus. But like that doesn't really line up and make sense because we he would have had to escape before the Galactica got there, but like during the time that Baltar wasn't there or whatever. So it was like one of those, like it would have been weird timeline wise. So
It would have been weird timeline wise. And the
it
other
could
thing
have
is,
worked, but it's like, yeah.
well, the other thing is that was not actually especially close to Galactica because they had to jump in
Mm-hmm.
to get there. And if he's just flying a raider in a random direction away,
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. So yeah, the story doesn't make sense if you think about it for a little bit. So yep. Um, but then cut to Bulldog. Adama goes in to meet Bulldog, and Bulldog obviously knocks him out and takes him prisoner. When we come back after a break, and he's like, "All right, why did you lie to me, Bill?" And he's like tries choking him out and like really aggressively choking him out with like a bar. And he says, all those years, you know what I kept telling myself, what stupid dream I held on to? You just hold on because Bill Adama's coming. He won't leave a man behind, but you weren't coming. You weren't even hoping that I was alive. If I didn't, and he starts to like say, like, if I didn't make that move when I saw they left the door open for me. And we get a flashback that is a different version of his escape where the door was just open. He didn't kill it, Deanna.
yep.
And Adama points that out. Is that what you did? Did they let you escape? And then Bulldog sort of like reasserts angrily, it's like, no, I know the truth. I beat them. I beat them at their own game. I fracking killed her. You're trying to take that away from me. Um, but then during that moment, Ty shows up and knocks over Bulldog. Um, and he's like basically like saves Adama's life, and he's like, you don't want to believe it, but you're
Well,
but
he points a gun at him.
yes. He says, you don't want to believe it, but it's better to know the truth. We're all soldiers. We're all expendable for the mission, is what he tells him. The Silence let you go, and you're doing exactly what you they wanted you to do right now by trying to kill Adama. You know, the dirty secret, the hardest part of getting played is losing your dignity, feeling like you're not worth the oxygen you're sucking down. You get used to it. You start to believe it. You start to love it. It's like a bottle that never goes dry. And clearly Ty's talking about himself
Yes.
there. To which Adama says, so how do you put that bottle away, Saul? Ty says, I don't know. You just decide to walk out. Put it down and walk out.
So one of the things I really like here is before what Ty says transitions into, obviously he's just talking about himself, is that he defends Bill's call. Like he says, you were expendable. We were all expendable. He made the call. And what I like about that is we saw in the moment, Ty didn't agree with that call, but he'll still defend it in the aftermath. When the chips are down, he will still, as mad as he is at him, he will still, in his angry, drunken way, have Bill's back, even for a call he didn't agree with.
Yeah, no, I really like that too. And then obviously we get that bit about him talking about himself where he's self-hating and kind of wallowing in it and enjoying it being in that space. So, and like doesn't know how to really get away from it just yet. So,
yep.
We then cut to another scene between Roslin and Adama. And Adama has tendered his resignation. And he repeats the lines, it said before, we can't hide from the things we've done. Maybe it's time. And Roslin's like, you're being naive. And I just like just saying it right to his face. It's like, maybe the Admiralty sent you there to provoke a war that they wanted. Did you think of that? As an option, it's we tend to want simple explanations for things because it makes us feel in control when we aren't. The Cylons attacked us. It wasn't one thing. It was 1,000. It was like 40 years of 1,000 good and bad things that we were paying for with those attacks. And she shows him that she was going to give him the Medal of Distinction.
All right, before we get into the medal stuff, just in terms of what she said here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because like this is the anti-conspiratorial thinking that I just is such a relief. Because like it has really become a sticking point to me at this point in my life when conspiratorial thought processes get elevated. So not too long ago, I saw Zootopia 2. And it's pretty good. And there's a character in it. She's a beaver. And she's a conspiracy theorist. But it's played for laughs and it's harmless. And I mentioned that in my review. And somebody in the comments was like, conspiracy theorists get a bad name just because of all the right-wing ones. And I'm like, there are some that are fine. And I actually replied like, no, because understand that questioning authority and questioning the official story does not alone make you a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theorists and conspiratorial thinking means rejecting the evidence, being anti-evidence, having a conclusion and twisting whatever you want to get to that. It is anti-intellectual, it is anti-evidence, and it is evangelical, meaning you are trying to pull other people into your twisted way of thinking. There is no good version of conspiratorial thinking. There is bad and there is worse. And knowing that conspiracy theorists and conspiratorial thinking is laden in our entertainment because it makes a good story, or I actually think is legit harmful when you play it off as a joke or something like that, which obviously Battlestar Galactica wouldn't do anyways. But to have somebody talk with such clarity of like, it's never that simple. Because that's the thing. Conspiracy theories, as convoluted as they may be, and as much of a joke as like the conspiracy board with the string is, it is seeking simple answers and individual people to blame for things that are too complicated to even begin to map out. And it is a relief to my soul to have a character just say flat out, you want it to be a simple answer because that gives you control, and it's not. It's
I
not, and it can't be.
just to bounce off of what you're saying too, two recent, well, one's recent, one's not, examples of really good depictions of conspiracy thinking and how what it is doing, and it's usually, as Roslyn says here, it's like usually done for people to feel like they have some control, some sense of emotional comfort, and that is often wielded by people like you see with the right wing using that to be like it's the Jews or it's the Democrats who run a pizza child smuggling ring in the basement, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it can be wielded. But at the end of the day, it is about people's emotional need to like have simple explanation, feel like there's a sense of semblance of meaning in the world. And a recent really good example for a show that I will evangelize myself, which is The Chair Company by Tim Robinson. Really, really good, very good comedy series. You have to kind of be on Tim Robinson's wavelength, which I am. I love his stuff. His movie Friendship with Paul Rudd this year is also, I think, one of my, it's not my favorite movie, but it's definitely in like the top 5 favorite movies of the year this year. Really enjoyed it. The Chair Company is kind of an extension of that, but it is about a sort of middle manager guy who gets caught up in like believing that there's this conspiracy theory around like chairs. He's like chair breaks during a meeting and he like has to like concoct this whole like very wild conspiracy theory about like why his chair broke. And the show plays with the idea because it's a comedy show of like whether he's right or whether he's not and whether he's just doing it. And but ultimately the show is really about this being like a guy who feels like he doesn't have control of his life and is looking for answers to like something to focus on to feel like he has a sense of control. Very good show. Highly recommend it. Both that and the Tim Robinson's one is really good. The other one that I'll point to that I also really like that is very similar but does something else that I really like is a Star Trek Voyager episode of all things where you have Seven of Nine. It's called the Voyager Conspiracy Theory, or Voyager Conspiracy. And it's what I like about it is because of weird Star Trek shit, Seven of Nine starts going down conspiracy theory rabbit holes. But it has two scenes that I really love where she calls Captain Janeway in and she says, "I've uncovered a conspiracy." And she lists all of these things from previous episodes of the show that be like, well, because of this, this means Chakotay, your first officer, is a traitor. And it's like all of these like things that like sound vaguely right because of all these like points that happened in the show if you look at it a certain way. And Janeway's like, no, that's not it. Two scenes later, she calls Chakotay in and does the same thing but points it at Janeway because of weird Star Trek shit. And it really just goes to like all this conspiracy stuff can be used for whatever bullshit story you want it to be. And I really, really like that. So both of those, I just depictions of good, depictions of how conspiracy theories are used. Those are two ones that I would highly recommend. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, moving on. The Medal of Distinction. So yeah, so Rosalind mentions, shows him she was going to give him the Medal of Distinction. This is before I heard about this resignation of yours. And she's like, I like to propose this. It seems like you want to pay some kind of penance. So instead of resigning, get out of here and meet me in the hangar deck tomorrow and let me pin a medal on your chest. And it's not for you, it's for them. Give them what they need, a hero. That'll be your penance, even if it kills you. So.
And like obviously she has a very particular pragmatic reason for wanting this as well, but I also just like in general this broad concept of if you want to try and make something right and make penance or something, it's not really up to you on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think more than anything, like that is a very prime reason why so few wrongs get properly corrected is because more often than not the person who did the bad thing decides what they're going to do to make it right when it really shouldn't be up to them.
Mm-hmm.
It should ideally be up to the people who you hurt, but at the very least you probably shouldn't be the one making the call of what you need to do to make amends. Because like we've talked before about, you're too close to it. That is a case of like you're deciding your own punishment and what is or isn't enough. That's not for you to do, though.
Yeah, it's not you to decide how to reconcile the harm that you caused.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And I
wish
like
more
that.
people would learn that. Yeah.
Oh boy. I
Yeah.
wish more countries would learn that. Just
Yeah.
pay black people reparations already, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Jesus.
No, we'll just make it worse for now. I guess is what we're doing. Anyways, we then have Rosalind doing the award ceremony. You know, she gives him the medal. This is the next day. Everyone claps. And then we cut to Coddle having like showing Bulldog off. He's in the hangar deck. He's like, "You're gonna be fine. Take some time. Go off to whatever place you're fucking going to in the fleet." But Adama comes in and gives him his uniform folded up and says, "Take it." And you know, Bulldog's like, "I can't." He's like, "You're not getting off that easy. Once a pilot, always a pilot." Um, and so yeah, Bulldog accepts this gift from Adama, and then we never see him again.
Is that true?
That is 100% true.
God damn it.
And he never comes back again.
See, like, that's annoying because, like, you could get, like, some real good moments out of bringing him back into a story at a later point. Fuck. God damn it, man.
Yeah. I debated telling you, but I feel it was better to tell you now. Because, yeah. Yep, he never comes back. Unfortunately. But we do get it one last scene, which is Ty comes into Adama's office, and he says, "I heard you want a medal." And Adama sort of, shrugs it off. It's like, "Yeah, they give them out for anything these days. Good behavior, attendance, playing well with others." And then he says, "I need you back in CIC. It just isn't the same without you there." And Ty's like, "That's not why I came here to talk to you about." So he's like, "What are you here talking about?" And he's like, "Nothing, I don't know." And then Adama sort of like understands what's going on. He's like, "Did you want to tell me what happened to Ellen?" And that sort of entices Ty a little bit. He says, "I could use a drink, me too." And that's how we end out the episode. They're gonna talk out their man pain.
It's worth noting that when Ty shows up in this scene, he has a proper eye patch for the first time. Because up until this scene, it has been a square of gauze taped over his eye. He shows up in this scene; it's a proper eye patch.
And he's put together kind of nicely. He's not
decently.
Yeah, so he's starting down the path to do him better. He put down the bottle and walked out, as they say. So yeah, I will not do a spoiler minute here. So what did you think of the episode?
This was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I really
like if we set aside the thing that, God fucking damn it, if we set that aside, because what the fuck, Ron? God, if we set that aside, this is really good. This is a very well-rounded character. It is a shame that he doesn't come back, but we also use him to explore another side of Adama, so it's not a total waste, because we still get something out of it.
Ty forward as well.
Yes, we get some good development on Ty. That makes sense. That like it takes kind of an outside force to sort of jolt him a little bit. With everything going on. Yeah, no, this was good. It was well put together. I liked the points that it was making, the angles it was taking things from. This was good. This was real good.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing really to add. This is a good, solid episode, a nice self-contained one. I agree with you on the fact that Bulldog not coming back. I knew it was gonna frustrate you. Like, I even wrote in my notes, like, do I tell Vera or not? It's just one of those, like, it's like it would probably leave you a little better taste in your mouth about the episode if I didn't tell you. But it's also like
it's not this episode's fault. It's not this episode's fault that they didn't take advantage of a character that they had done a very good job developing.
Yeah. And I will say this is probably the first episode with like a focus on Adama in a long while. Like we've gotten development for Adama certainly, but like it's been a good minute before we got like a one singular focus on him. So
it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So this is really solid. I really liked it. Again, not like, like, oh my God, I need to tell everyone about it, but it was a really good, solid episode. Yeah. Anything else, Vera? I don't really have much more to say, to be frank. I'm just checking one thing before we go on.
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I know we'll say this here before we go into stuff time, and I'm going to tell you this, Vera, right now. Next week's episode, for listeners, we are watching the full uncut, the like extended version of Unfinished Business. So next week's episode is an hour long, not 45 minutes. So.
No.
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 You're just out? No?
No, because next time is going to be us doing year-end wrap-up and giving
Oh.
our best of the year stuff
Oh. Is that next week?
because we're going to record that next week so that if my timing is right, it'll come out on the last Monday of the year.
Got it. All right, then we will do it 2 weeks from now, ya bitch. Way to fuck me over. Well, the first episode of the year, just for listeners. So if you are watching along with us and you watch the appropriate one, we will be watching the full extended edition of the episode Unfinished Business, just for so everyone knows. So that's in 2 weeks, I guess. Jesus Christ. All right. With that said, next week we'll be doing, I guess, our top fives of all the different medias, right?
If you actually do it, last year you only had top threes.
Really? Did I? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching a hell of a lot more this year, so we'll get through that.
All right.
Anyways, with that said, Vera, stuff time.
Stuff. You can find my stuff by looking for Council of Geeks. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living. The main thing that supports is the Council of Geeks YouTube channel. New videos every Saturday. I don't know what'll be out. But in terms of
Find out.
what'll have been out in the last few weeks, I did a video talking about why Vecna absolutely sucks on Stranger Things. And no, I still haven't seen any of season 5 yet.
It's fine. First episode
And,
sucked. Episodes 3 and 4 are solid. And Vecna only has one line, if it makes you feel better.
no, no, it doesn't. The fact that he's there at all ruins the show. I'm also reviewing the episodes of The War Between the Land and the Sea. So that should be wrapping up probably shortly after this episode goes live. And so those are going up on Wednesdays, also on the main channel. There is also the Break Room of Geeks, which is my secondary channel where I talk about whatever I have watched, played, listened to, or read lately. And Council of Geeks is also on Blue Sky. Now that is the geeky stuff. There's also the spicy stuff.
The spicy stuff.
And for that, you can look for Vera Wild. Wild is spelled WYLDE.
YLDE.
And you can find increasingly spicy content
Increasingly spicy.
on YouTube, TikTok.
And you can find me at Jesse Gender on YouTube, where I do video essay style stuff. My Star Trek, Why Do Tech Billionaires Love Star Trek video is finally officially out, so you can check that out.
Listen to me have a breakdown.
Yes. So you can find out where that manifesto is, where I reference that manifesto at the top of the episode, is going towards. I have a secondary channel called Jesse Gender After Dark, where I do news, reviews, reactions. I am also reviewing the War Between the Land and the Sea. Pluribus as well will also be wrapping out by the time you hear this. I think there'll be one more episode by the time you hear this. And I have just finished reviewing It Welcome to Derry, which again, so better than I thought it would be. Definitely better than Stranger Things by a hot mile. Like this like it is very funny that those two shows came out. It's also very funny. I'll just say this as an aside. Both Stranger Things and It Welcome to Derry did those like long one take during action sequence shots, and
Yeah.
It Welcomes to Derry's one is miles better. Like it is very funny because the shows are already doing very similar Stephen King kids on bikes things. And then they directly have a comparison thing, unintentionally, obviously, but it was very much like, wow, It Welcomes to Derry one was wildly better. So again, It Welcome to Derry, don't go out of your way for it if it's not something that interests you, but if it is something in your vein, it is surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. Anyways, check out those reviews over there. I have a Patreon that helps me pay my bills. You get videos early. Like I have a video that'll be coming out sometime sometime in January. That is already available on Patreon about why the Ferengi are the best Star Trek alien. I'm very proud of that video. It is also on Nebula, which is the streaming service that helps me pay my bills, just like Patreon does, as YouTube does as well. But it also has my movie Identities, as well as the upcoming show Subliminal that I directed an episode of. And I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram. So anything else of Vera?
Nah.
Alrighty, with all that said, I hope y'all live long and prosper.
Be seeing you.